Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, live from Charleston, West Virginia. This is the 2023 Men's NORCECA Continental Championship, live on Volleyball Source. Day 2, Match 2, featuring Mexico versus Canada.
As we're here, Rob St. Clair to my right. My name is Everett DeLorme. And we're in here for a good one. This is the first time we're seeing Mexico this tournament. They did not play yesterday. Pool play only having the 3 teams. Canada we did get to see yesterday take on the Dominican Republic, but this one should be a good one.
Mexico's starting lineup there on the screen for you. Pedro Rangel at center, who you absolutely love, Everett. Luis Baca at opposite. We've got Josue Lopez and Yasutaka Sanai at outside hitters. Victor Parra and Brandon Lopez at middle blockers, and Hiram Bravo will be the libero.
Yeah, it looks like we have the starting lineup just coming out now for Canada. Starting at the setter position, number 2, Luke Herr. Then you got a pair of McMaster Marauders, Danny Demyanenko and Steven Marr, holding down the middle and the left side, respectively. On the right, it will be the hammer from Toronto, Mr. Arthur Schwartz. On the left, in the middle, looks like first Jordan Schnitzer getting the start today. Bit of a change up there. And finally, Eric Lepke is going to round out the other guys. And we had to guess. We're not provided who's going to start as libero at the beginning of the game, so we guessed Curry, we guessed wrong. Louis gets to start this time.
All right.
It's 2 matches in a row there for Justin Louis getting the start.
We are big fans of both of these Canadian liberos.
Yeah.
Both excellent players. Justin Louis and Landon Curry will be Justin Louis this time out of Stanford University. He betrayed your country by going to university south of the border, Everett.
Whoa. There's none of that talk here. He's going to use what he's learned at Stanford and bring it back to Canada.
Is that what he'll do?
I mean, yeah, he's already doing it by playing for the national team.
He is. So in case you all are new to the Volleyball Source universe, Everett is a huge Canadian fan. My name is Rob St. Clair. I am an American fan, so I'm a neutral party this particular game. I'm excited to watch both these teams. Canada looked very good yesterday. A clean 3-0 win over the Dominican Republic, and this is Mexico's debut in the tournament. Not exactly their full force lineup as far as we're aware. They're missing Axel Rodriguez and Diego Gonzalez, both who are big parts of the World Championship last year. But we do get to see Pedro Rangel, number 10 in white on the far side, the captain at the center position, who we've been seeing play these NORCECA tournaments for years.
In my opinion, might be the best Mexican volleyball player ever. But Mexican fans might have a different opinion on that.
Let us know in the chat if you think so. We are underway. Canada in black on the near side serving. Immediate quick ball on the outside. Luke Herr is there defensively. Nice recycle. First swing for the big man. Arthur Schwartz is a good one. Very nice out-of-system swing by Schwartz, wrist away down the line.
Yeah, I love that there by Schwartz. Having that vision to go off the hands there, but also love the recycle there by Lepke. We haven't seen Lepke much this summer. This is his first time starting for the Maple Volleys in the 2023 international season as Herr gets us underway, and that one is just going to be long. He's added a little bit of mustard to his serve.
We were talking to Luke yesterday on the broadcast after the Canadian win over Dominican Republic, and we were talking about Luke's serve in VNL being a little bit too easy. It turns out he was just getting his shoulder back to 100%, and now he's able to pop the ball a little bit.
First ball there handled easily by Louis.
Wow, right in the center of the forehead, Danny Demyanenko.
Danny Demyanenko, we said it before, has been the most consistent Canadian player
this summer,
as Lepke now heads back to serve.
Victor Parra there, number 5 in white in the middle for Mexico, all over that one, actually so all over it that he blocked it with his head.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that necessarily all over it. As he puts that one out of bounds.
Yes, he does. I like that find from Rangel to Parra on the back one there, but he just kind of ran out of court sideways-wise.
Yeah. Now Lepke continues to serve. He'll be heading to Monza this year to play with alongside Steven Marr and Arthur Schwartz. Bit of a hybrid there.
Like that changeup.
Really like that.
His entire body was facing position 1, and he turned it at the last second to slap a float serve towards position 5, and he comes up with the ace. Eric Lepke, one of the great multi-tool outside hitters in all the world, and that's not an exaggeration. I see his wife, Sam Seliger-Swinson, and his baby.
I've never met her. I'll have to go say hi.
She was a great setter at the University of Minnesota.
Another serve wonderfully put in there by Lepke. And that block is easily used there by Lopez. And Lopez, to me, has to be one of the keys to the offense. He's one of those guys that was a big part of their world championship last year, especially when they beat Bulgaria.
Lopez actually in the backcourt right there. That was number 18 in white, Yasutaka Sanai. A new face on the outside for Mexico with the kill that time. Look at that pipe
run.
combination.
There we go.
Beautiful.
He's done one game by himself and used to calling him on his own.
Just two in sync, saying the same things. That run is gorgeous. There's not much more to say.
Absolutely wonderful, especially as we start to get Lepke involved back in this offense. It's good to see him get a lot of volume as Demyanenko puts that ball in. It's going to be handled by Marr to the right side to Schwartz, and he's shut down, and that goes off the block and into the face of Luke Herr, and he's shaken up a little bit. He's nodding like he's okay, but that had to have hurt.
Wow, that was a massive block from Yasutaka Sanai. Only 1.86 m, 6'1", getting up and shutting down Arthur Schwartz. That was big time. Herr able to continue. That's good to see.
This one handled there by Lepke. Herr goes right back to Arthur Schwartz, and somehow it's kept alive, and it's over the net. Not entirely sure how, but they give it right back to Jordan Schnitzer, and he makes no mistake, paints that back line. Beautiful shot. I have no idea how that ball was up there.
Welcome to
None
Mexican
whatsoever.
volleyball. We just saw it. That was off the middle back defender, accidentally off the libero and straight up in the air. Mexico is an excellent defensive team. They will make plays like that.
Last summer at the Pan Am Cup, I like to call them the Spider Monkeys. They just seemed like they were all over the place. Another great set there. Oh, good set there by Pedro Rangel as he allows number 5 Para to climb the ladder a little bit, but Arthur Schwartz caught a little bit flat-footed there on defense.
Nice find from Pedro Rangel, 34 years of age, 1.92 m, number 10 in white at the setter spot.
Para now back to serve, puts a nice little spinner in, but that's easily handled. Marr gets it back on the outside, but that's blocked, recycled for Canada, and just set up there. Luke Herr just laid that up on the platter for Jordan Schnitzer to go back up and go to get it. And he is physical. He doesn't look that tall, but his ability, his leaping ability has him in that 12-foot range in terms of touch.
Schnitzer, 1.98 m on the roster, but he really does play above that height. He's a guy who jumps and then seems to go up another little bit higher once he seems to have stopped his upward momentum. He's
a floater there as Marr puts that one just a little bit long. Canada not looking as clean as they did yesterday.
I will say better opponent. I already like what I'm seeing from Mexico better than what I saw from the Dominican Republic yesterday. But no stopping that from Stephen Marr.
And I absolutely love that. Right, Schnitzer is right there, and they have to respect Schnitzer right now. They're pulled a little bit over to that 2 side, and just over Schnitzer's left shoulder comes Marr. And I mean, if there's any on the Canadian side that you don't want to see come through that pipe, it's Stephen Marr.
2 for 2 is Canada on that big play. The back row quick out of position 6. Both outside hitters getting in on it. Good setting from Luke Herr.
Now Schnitz puts in that spin serve into the net. And I think it's really important to keep the pressure on against a team like Mexico, because they're going to take any opportunity that they can get to capitalize upon, and missed serves are just going to help them down the stretch.
Already 3 service errors for Canada, giving Mexico half their points. That serve was sick.
Great grab there by Louis to read that ball and pick it up, but it is going to be an out-of-system situation here for Mexico. And that set was just a little too far outside and nowhere to go for Baca as Demyanenko just shuts the door on him.
Excellent block discipline from Canada. That was very much on display yesterday. They were able to trap the Dominican Republic into high ball situations and shut them down on the block. There's one right there.
Would have liked to see a little bit better of a set from Bravo, the libero on the Mexican side.
Another service error for Canada. A few too many early.
Yeah, 4 service errors so far for Canada. That's more than 50% of Mexico's points.
Sends Brandon Lopez, number 11 in white, the middle blocker, back to the line for Mexico.
Nicely handled there by Lepke. Just set that one up nicely, and Her had nothing to do but just tee it off for Demyanenko, and he swung away.
Danny has had an awesome summer, like you said. Also just got married a couple weeks ago, so congratulations to him.
Congratulations, Danny, but Canada's been really, really good in the middle so far.
Oh, no, we got Michael Gomez in the chat. That's the last thing we need. Start chirping us over here. Nice service variation from Lepke again.
He looks better than ever right now. And I know it's just a first look, but he's showing me shots, and I've known Eric Lepke for a long time. He's showing me shots that I didn't know he had.
He's already hit float serves sideline to sideline and spin serves sideline to sideline. Like when you're a receiver, you have no idea what the opposing server is going to throw at you. It is extremely difficult to prepare for, obviously. Timeout Mexico.
You talked in the last game about how needed it is to have a good solid three-man serve, like a three-man system
for outside hitters.
For outside hitters, and having Eric Lepke back for Canada is absolutely huge. Like it cannot be stated enough how big it is to have him back, not only for this tournament, but looking forward to the Olympic qualifications that are happening in just a few weeks. It was a tough go at VNL for just having Hogue and Mar
as the guys with experience.
Yeah, everyone else is a rookie coming out of U Sports, and that's a little bit tough at times to play at that level. So now that you've got another guy, and not only another guy who has pro experience, but has pro experience at the highest level, coming off one of the best seasons of his career, right? Like that is such an injection into this Canadian roster.
You mentioned the Olympic qualifier tournaments, Everett, at the very end of September into October. These two teams, Canada and Mexico, are in the same pool. They will see each other in that tournament. Float service error there from Lepke out of the timeout.
Of course, we were just praising him for how good his serving is, and he turns around and throws down an error. But
coach's point there for Jorge Azer Lopez of Mexico. Here is Luis Baca. Big shoes to fill for Diego Gonzalez, the opposite from last year.
Wow.
That is legal for Stephen Marr, actually. All those net touches were outside the antenna. Wow, and Parra is able to put it away, but that is I think everybody's laughing about that. I'm not sure I've ever seen somebody straight up pull the net down.
I was going to say that's the most egregious net support I've ever seen in my life.
And and correctly, no violation called.
No violation called, and even better, down referee making sure that Mara's okay. Even better, got to give a shout out to the legend on the opposite side of the net, Jorge Azer, the Mexican coach. This guy has been around forever and has been a staple in the Mexican volleyball scene as, that one is still flying out of the gym there.
Yeah, the question is, why is that legal? That's because the touch of the net happened outside the antenna. So the area between the antenna and the pole, you are allowed to touch the net in that spot. And Mar certainly took advantage of that to keep his balance. Didn't end up mattering. Now Demyanenko.
See if he continues his strong serving. And I didn't even say it before he served, Rob. But still, the commentator's curse continues as Demyanenko puts that one.
6 service errors out of Mexico's 10 points given by Canada for free so far.
Yeah, that's tough. And that's something that Canada knows they need to get better at. Not only at the consistency of serving, but how tough it is as that one goes long. And one guy who can really help with that but needs to work on that consistency is this man right here, Arthur Schwartz. If we look back to those preseason games that we saw against Brazil before VNL, he ended one of those sets with a beautiful serving run with a couple of aces going down the sideline and going to the rails. So he has that capability, just needs to bring up that consistency a little bit, as that is a absolutely wonderful swing there by Lopez, finding the tiniest gap between Schnitzer and Mar to bring Mexico within 2 now, 13-11.
Excellent swing against 3 blockers there by Josue Lopez, number 6 in white.
Nice little roll shot, easily handled by Lepke, and Mar's going to get it on the outside, and that one is on the line.
Nice pace there from her. We've certainly seen Steve Mar rip his fair share of quick balls over his career. That 4-4 range, looking good.
Yeah, it seems like that 4-4 is even more open when he's getting that quick ball to the outside. He's getting it to there nice and early and just able to beat the ball to the sideline. As another tough serve put in by Mar, and right there you're seeing
that?
Pedro Engel, baby. That's why he's one of my favorites, as Lepke throws that one down, and you'll see he went up, and it looked he was going to try to fake the one-handed set and then went with 2. He's one of the most dynamic and athletic setters I've ever seen. I've said this many times. If he was from a different country that was maybe a little bit more relevant, he would be playing in some top leagues in Europe.
Sure.
As Mar heads back to serve. Oh, that one he thought was in.
Mar wanted that one.
I saw that in from here, but I think there may be a little bit of bias coming from me. Just saying. As Rangel goes back to serve for Mexico. Goes right at Lepke, easily handled. Right side, C ball to Schwartz.
Beautiful. And we got to remind the people, Everett, this man is a converted middle blocker, only about 2 seasons into his career of playing opposite. Came off of a pretty devastating knee injury to play at middle blocker in the Olympics in Tokyo 2 years ago. Now has about 2 full seasons at opposite under his belt in the club game, and he's the starting opposite for Canada really from here on out as Arthur Schwartz.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that Ryan Sclater has taken his retirement from the national team, and Siobhan Vernon Evans is also technically retired, I guess, from the national team. No, never any formal announcement. He does play beach, I guess, so he's still within the national team system. It is up to Arthur Schwartz now. As Lopez heads back to serve for Mexico. Canada leads 16-13, easily handled by Mar. Set it up for Demyanenko, but Lopez is up to the task in the back row. Once again for Canada, go to Mar on the pipe, and he goes headhunting towards Pedro Rangel as Rangel takes it off the shoulder.
The pipe from Canada looks very, very good right now. I really like Luke Herr's confidence in that spot. Go into it as an in-system option. 4 hitters against 3 blockers. You can do the math, Everett. Advantage offense.
That one was into the net, but I did really like Luke Herr's confidence yesterday when you spoke to him afterwards. And he talked about just being in the gym and getting more comfortable, because let's remember, up until like a week or two before VNL, like no one knew he was the starter, right? We went into those exhibition matches against Brazil knowing nothing, and you know, he wasn't even technically on the team yet. So he had very little time to practice with this team, as I don't see a touch on that one. He has very little time to practice with this team before actually getting into some of the best competition in the world. And after a few months of training, I'm sure he's much more comfortable around the guys in the system that they're trying to run.
Similar to what we saw with Micah Ma'a for Team USA.
Yes.
Way better after about a 6-week training block now versus the beginning of the summer. And we got a substitution in here for Mexico, number 23 in white, Luis Sanchez, 24 years of age, 1.65 m. That is not a typo. He is 5'5" and not dressed as a libero.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That was disgusting there by
so high. We've been saying in previewing this tournament that there's a good chance that Arthur Schwartz has the highest spike height of anybody in this tournament. And I do not know how many teams there are going to be that can even potentially reach high enough to stop this man.
Yeah, play at his level as we see Lepke back to serve once again. Oh,
nope. No touch there.
Sané looking for hands. He didn't even see the court. He was looking for us.
That was a bit of a prayer. That ball actually was pretty much directly on a line to you and I.
Yeah. Maybe we said something about him that he didn't like. As I hear forced to call a timeout now as Canada up 19-15.
And that's even with giving 8 points away from the service line. Like that, it's not all about number of service errors. It's a little more about ace to error ratio. 2 aces to 8 errors, it's 1 to 4. Even that's not good enough for Canada. They are giving too many points away for free.
Absolutely, and I don't know if that's something that needs to be addressed necessarily at this moment right now.
I agree.
You're in between sets and whatnot, but I do think that it's something that needs to be addressed in general for Canada.
You better believe the coaches are talking about it. They're probably not talking to the players yet, but look, maybe when the second set starts, when things don't turn around service-wise, they'll give some directions to some guys to approach things a bit differently. And by the way, we haven't talked about head coach Tuomas Samovolo of Canada in his first season coming over from Europe. Was the head coach of Russia 2 years ago. Was the head coach of Zaksa Kenjirjan Kozlay, who won Champions League this year. So this man's got a little bit of experience, so to speak.
Oh, what a set.
Whoa.
There. That is classic Pedro Rangel. His ability to flick that ball to the right side and just open up the court for his opposite hitter is fantastic. That was beautiful. Whoa. Once again, you're seeing the Pedro Rangel magic. It's a little bit subdued. You know, I started watching him a decade ago. He was a little bit younger, a little bit more spry, could rip a spin serve, but he still got it.
I'm more impressed by the swing. That swing by Luis Baca, number 19 in white, 22 years of age, 2 meters tall. That ball was straight up bounced. And here we have a blocking substitution for Mexico. Mikel Chavez, 2 meters and 2, number 16, in for Rangel. So no setter on the court right now for Mexico.
As Baca serves.
Maybe like a delayed 6-2 situation. We'll see.
Having Baca and Gonzalez, though, is a kind of a good situation for Mexico to be in. Not kind of, it is.
It is. It certainly is. Diego Gonzalez really stole the show at last year's World Championship, and now, sure enough, Chavez right back to the bench, Rangel back to the front court to set.
We thought that he was going to be getting a big contract because of that. He didn't, but he will be going to connect Rose later.
Yeah, Necruzalari in the Belgian League. That's actually a good contract. That's a perennial CEV contender. Really good pass. Oh, I wonder how many double contacts Rangel's been called on in his career. Probably not very many, but that one was a pretty obvious one.
Yeah, that one was a little ugly. And I will say he's not one of the best pure setters I've seen. Like, the ball does come out a little squirrely sometimes, and maybe even a little bit more when considering that we're using the Mikasa instead of the Molten. When it was the Molten, that ball is so sticky and so easy. If you got nice big hands, it was easy to set.
Another service error for Canada. That one by Demyanenko off the tape and out of bounds. Another substitution for Mexico, number 2, Jorge Hernandez. 20 years of age, 1.97 m, in at outside hitter, and he goes back to serve here.
Getting to see quite a bit of the Mexican roster right now.
Sure. Seeing what, at least 3 substitutions, maybe 4. And I think that's exactly what's being talked about right now is how many substitutions does Mexico have left? You only get 6.
That's true.
So they used 2 for the blocking sub. They used 2 for the defensive sub with Sanchez earlier. I think this was substitution number 5 just now.
Okay.
Keep an eye on that.
21-16 here for, or sorry, 21-17.
It should be 21-17.
The desk has the wrong score there. That's Hernandez.
We've got it on the stat sheet, on our score bug, on the board in the house. Yeah, 21-17 is the score. Another successful pipe to Lepke.
That's 4 or 5 this set alone. That needs to be, that to me is a scenario where coach is like, we're working on this play. You know, we are coming in and this is what we've been working on in practice. We want to release our pipe as much as possible.
That's something that was interesting is that, like last year under Team Canada with a completely different looking team, they were trying to run that BIC as much as possible. Earlier this year at VNL, both for Canada and kind of teams in general, I wasn't seeing the pipe as much, but now we're seeing it a lot.
That was a big swing out of the back row by Baca. A heavy swing. He has a heavy arm, whereas Gonzalez is a bit more of a whip and speed. Baca a little heavier.
Still got the score wrong at the scorers table. It's showing 22-17. 22-18 is the correct score.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another back row attack by Team Canada.
Enough said. I mean, the Mexican block has not adapted to this yet. I'm sure that they will, but Luke Herr, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's yet to be really a positive touch against Mar or Lepke out of the back row.
As Mar heads back to serve and just puts one in with a little bit of off pace. And
that ball was going out of bounds.
Great dig by Schwartz. It's over the net, swung on, and kept alive. Now Arthur on the right side, and he goes cross court. And that play should have ended when Pedro Rangel wiped it off the block, but it went right at Lopez, and he just reacted and popped it up and kept it aligned. And that's a killer. That's a momentum killer. That's a gut check killer. But once again, the magic of Pedro Rangel.
Yeah, that was too bad. Rangel had that .1. He beat the block on the joust, but it was still alive. Arthur Schwartz puts it away. Frankie Milantony, number 48 in white, in to defend against set point for Mexico. Here's Stephen Marr at 24-18.
Oh, pins that one.
Torched.
Oh.
Did Herr get a piece of Milantony on the way out of bounds?
He did.
Yeah.
I didn't really see it, but the Canadians' reactions on the turnaround kind of said it all.
Luke Herr.
They all walk back to the bench like it's VNL out here.
We are changing sides, the NORCECA Championship. Set number 1 to Canada, 25-18. They gave away 9 points from the service line. Mexico only earned 9 points in that set. That's how well Canada was really in control.
Absolutely. The only part of their game that Canada isn't producing in so far is from the baseline. But when you look at the stats, you got Lepke with 6 points, Schwartz with 4, Demyanenko and Mar both chipping in with 3, and Schnitzer comes in with 2 as well. So every guy is being utilized. Every guy is out there scoring right now for Canada. Not that many blocks, or only 2 blocks and 2 aces for Canada here in this first set.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome behind the broadcast booth. I'm Rob St. Clair. This is Everett DeLorme, in many ways the voice of Canadian volleyball. This is Volleyball Source. Welcome to the NORCECA Championship. We are in Charleston, West Virginia. Everett, through 4 sets, evaluate the Maple Volleys so far.
They look much more confident and sure of themselves, and a much more cohesive unit in the limited time we've seen. We haven't really seen them under stress yet, so that's really when we're going to start to being able to analyze it. But so far, I'm loving the progression I'm seeing from Luke Herr. And we talked about it in this match. He's just joined this team, right? The weeks leading up to it, he wasn't even supposed to be in the gym. If you don't know the story, essentially, he was just there to train potentially with the B team, was just in the gym, hanging out. Samadvuo saw him training, and they kind of said, hey, come and join some drills. And then gradually, we're at the point now where, like, Jay Blankenau has taken a leave from the team. He's still available to be called upon. And Derek Epp has quit volleyball altogether. So that depth chart that was looking with a number of players ahead of him has just disappeared. But, I mean, both of those guys, like, if Blankenau was starting on this team, he wouldn't have left. He wouldn't have taken that leave of absence. And the same thing with Derek Epp.
Because of Luke Herr's good play, exactly. He's taken this spot and he's made it his own. And Everett, I remember last year at Pan Am, whatever Pan Am tournament it was,
Cup
in Gatineau, when you saw Luke Herr setting the B team, you're like, okay, we might have something here. He was going to make some coaches' decisions pretty difficult. Well,
and Ben Josephson straight up told me before the World Championships that he had to take Luke Herr out of the decision altogether because he had made a serious case for himself in training, but he already had a tough decision with the 3 setters that he had with him already, and adding a 4th would have just been ludicrous. But he's been given that opportunity now, so seeing him having that time to get into the gym in Gatineau and get some training sessions, there's a much more Maple Volley sense of calm around this team than I've experienced in a little bit.
What can you summarize with Team Canada under Tuomas Samelvuo? What is the biggest difference that he has made in the couple months of his action with Team Canada, in your opinion?
It's tough to say because I wouldn't necessarily say that there's that much difference altogether. Like, we did maybe simplify the system a little bit from what we were trying to do last year, but it looks very similar to what was happening under Coach Glenn Hogue, and just very simple, straightforward volleyball. And to be quite honest, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to any of the guys about what that transition's been like. The last conversations we had with them was in Ottawa, and that was right at the beginning of it all.
Yeah, there's a lot that's happened since then. These teams are different compared to what they were at VNL. What is not different is Danny Demyanenko bouncing balls on wide open nets as we are underway with set number 2, Canada in black on the far side.
As Lepke basically starts where he left off, serving from the baseline. Oh, great run there by Rangel. Tupara finding him over the right shoulder. And it's that type of, like, forcing the middle and stuff that's really going to help Mexico stay alive here. And if they can produce, like, that was not a good pass situation, but if they can produce offense from that, they're going to be relevant.
Miguel Chavez gets the start at middle blocker this set for Mexico. He's in number 16 to try and slow down Arthur Schwartz, who gets the ball back.
Wow. Oh, that was a great initial dig there by Baca.
Not enough to stop Stephen Marr, though.
Not enough to steal. I'm a little confused because on the back of Baca's jersey, it does say Hernandez. So that's why I paused there for a second, because I saw that and I was like,
And it says Baca, yeah, Luis David Hernandez Baca.
Fair enough. I would appreciate if they would just all use, like, just choose what name you're going to use, and that's going to be for everything.
Got a lot of names as Spanish-speaking countries. That ball is spatched by Josue Lopez over the block and out of bounds.
I don't know if that was so much of a phaser as he just hit it hard.
I mean, that ball was on a dead line.
Yeah, okay, it was a
phaser.
You're right.
Huge shout out, by the way, to Graham Vigrass, who's watching right now. He was complimenting Chuck being Stephen Marr, complimenting Marr's serving in the last set. Graham, we love you. Thanks for watching.
I think you love Graham Vigrass.
I do love
the
Graham.
most.
I really
I mean,
love Graham.
I love him very much, but it's always surprised me your love for Graham Vigrass.
Always. When I played, I was a poor man's Graham Vigrass in the way that I played the middle blocker position. Nice play.
Great dig. Lopez on the outside, and that
Was
one.
that 2 spatches in a row?
I don't know if that was a spatch in a row, but he was definitely looking for hands, and there was none to be found.
You know what? I want to give respect to the line judge on the far side.
Yeah,
he hung
stood
in there and took that ball.
He took the shot.
He did. Couple unforced errors in attack here for Mexico to start set number 2 there. Trapped in rotation 1 receive right now with Baca the opposite on the left. Almost a tape trickler.
Kept alive nicely by Mexico.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at the way that Schnitzer coils to unleash on that ball.
Yeah, he's so fast twitch, and you can see, as you said earlier, he jumps and elevates.
Yeah.
He floats that little bit that just gives him that extra edge. But it's those types of plays, those type of broken plays that Mexico tends to keep alive that just makes them so frustrating to play against.
Like that.
Like that.
How's that ball still alive?
Absolutely.
Free ball Canada. Yes. Yes. Go right back to him. Hit both shots. 2 bounces in a row for Jordan Schnitzer.
I
love it.
That was absolutely beautiful. And where's Schnitz heading this year for some reason?
France.
Yeah.
I can't remember where.
Is he heading to Chaumont with
Joe Worsley?
Worsley?
I don't think so. It might be Paris. I can't remember. We'll look that up on Volleybox.
Shout out to Volleybox.
Yeah, had a good year in Lindbergh last year.
Oh, he's going to Saint Nazaire.
That's right.
He's going from one North American outfit to another, essentially, with Quinn Isaacson and Kyle Ensing over on that squad over there.
Shout out to Quinn Isaacson, Kyle Ensing. Serve miss there by Schwartz ends a pretty nice run. Josue Lopez back to serve for Mexico.
And Lopez is a guy that he can do some damage from the baseline. Like there's good speed. Both Lopez's in this tournament can serve the crap out of the ball.
For sure.
Oh, there is Team USA coaches coming in.
Team USA in action later tonight against Puerto Rico in Group B. This is a Group A match right here. It's the 3-team group, Canada, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. Excellent pass.
Oh, that was a very nice swing there by Baca. Going off the hands of Schnitzer, who wasn't quite able to close that block, and going just past Justin Louis.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but our scoreboard operator on the scores table needs to figure it out a little bit. It is 7-4 right now.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Wow.
That ball is dug.
He took that.
That was insane. Marr showing some sportsmanship to Rangel, who actually dug that ball.
Hey, you know what? Strap it on. Chest digs, I think chest digs should be taught.
Sure.
I absolutely think chest digs should be taught. How many times have you seen a guy try to get out of the way? No. Just strap it on, dig in your heels, stick out that chest, pump it up, baby. Let's go.
It has worked before, and it will work again.
That's a big shout out to Pat Johnson and the Dirty Birds over at Fanshawe College in Canada. You know who you are. Outside. Oh.
Big time block by Luke Kerr.
And whereas Canada was maybe not tentative, but not with it as much in the first set, they've really turned it on here with some very, very good plays. And they've been just shutting the door on this Mexican team so far in the second set.
We're going to see a timeout here from Mexico, and hopefully during that we'll get our scoreboard fixed. Ours is correct. The one that you're seeing, it is 9-4. The board at the scores table shows 8-3. In the house, it shows 9-4.
The digital score table, which is controlled by another referee, she just got it. She's laughing about it.
She's got half of it.
Oh, she's got half of it.
She's got half of it.
Oh,
and
here's the referee.
Down official is going to fix the other half. All right.
There we go. There we go. But when you look at the stats right now, Mexico's only made 10 points.
Yeah, they've only earned 10 points.
Whereas Canada has 25 points earned, including 20 kills with only 2 errors.
We see Graham Vigrass talking about Stephen Marr apologizing to Rangel, calling that a fake sorry. No, this is Canada we're talking about. Every sorry is a real sorry north of the border. I mean,
sorry.
if we look at Rangel later, we can ask him to show us under his shirt if he's got a Mikasa tattoo under there.
As Schnitzer now heads back to the line. Pretty good serve in as Rangel's going to force to. He reverses the flow. Maybe trying to do a little too much there as Baca was brought way inside on that ball.
I don't hate the force. Chuck it back there. Yeah, sure, could have gotten that to the antenna a little bit further, but don't hate Baca taking a swing. That was very good service pressure from Schnitzer from the get-go. That thing really has that tail from left to right as you're seeing it on your screen.
Another good pass there by Mexico, but good dig by Mar in the back row. Outside now to Lepke. That's thrown down but kept alive. Now opposite again to Schwartz. Nicely dug by Rangel, and that's going to be just popped up, and Baca's just going to dump it over. Free ball now for Canada. And Mar
paint brushed. And a head block.
And look at that. Demyanenko unable to convert in transition, and Mexico turns around and takes advantage right away.
One of the better back and forth rallies we've seen in the match so far. Some good swings, some good defense, and yeah, that ball maybe 5 centimeters too high for Demyanenko. Couldn't get full contact on it and ends up costing Canada the point.
Yeah, a rare miscue with Demyanenko. He's one of those guys that he takes care of the details so well that generally that stuff doesn't happen. Now is Baca, or Hernandez Baca, to be a little bit more specific, is back to serve. Goes right at Mar, and that's a perfect pass right on the head of Luke Hurren.
Okay.
For the first time today, Mexico stops the back row attack.
Go back to it.
Yeah, absolutely, right away.
Oh my goodness. Great setting from Luke Hurren.
I have to give props to just Mexico in general for just standing in there and strapping it on defense.
Dude, they really are hanging in there. That's Hiram Bravo, number 3 in black at libero for Mexico, taking that one from Stephen Mar. They are holding their ground. You got to give them credit for that.
Perfect pass there by Mexico. Right side to Baca. No one home. And yeah, Justin Louis definitely touched that in the back row. Yeah.
I mean, Everett, so far, I'm thinking that our scouting report for Mexico is pretty accurate. They've got some arms. They're good on first contact.
They serve bombs. They're good on first contact. They play exceptional defense.
Very good defense.
And they've got arms everywhere.
They haven't really been able to slow down Canada's offense much so far, though. Their blocking game has been largely non-existent. And we're going to have a substitution here for Mexico. Jorge Hernandez again. Like we saw late in set number 1, number 2 in white comes in to replace Yasutaka Sanai.
We're just waiting now for the scores. It looks like they've got the score right on the screen.
They do. All right, Everett, let's play a game. It's what type of serve is Eric Lepke going to pull out this time? First of all, spin or float?
Float.
And what zone?
I think he's floating to zone 5. I think he's going after Lopez.
Okay. I'll take cut short spin to like in front of Lopez to like position 5 or 4.
Okay.
Let's see. Spin. Spin to position 1.
I got it right. Neither of us got the location right, but I got the spin right.
You said float, dude. I said spin.
Oh, no, wait, you're right. I originally wanted to say spin. You're totally right.
Lepke now, I believe, with 3 aces.
Okay. And this is the most interesting one. What does he do after an ace? Just goes right
back to it and misses it just out of bounds wide. Here is Parra, the middle blocker.
Let's see if he can put some pressure on here and start making their way back. Oh, Rob's eyes just lit up as Team USA enters the gym.
Hey, you're getting chirped in the chat. Kind of disappointed that Everett hasn't made a mention of the Ontario connection in the starting lineup yet.
I said McMaster right off the bat.
Pretty good pressure there from Demyanenko.
Wow.
What a set by Pedro Rangel.
Yeah, that is just absolute beautiful.
all the
beauty.
way across the court. That one got wide
On the
enough
C
for
ball
Baca.
too, which
Yeah.
I think is way more difficult. Oh yeah, just
That is
fantastic.
Gorgeous. That's good looking offense there.
Good pass there by Mar, and Schnitzer just goes and climbs and climbs and climbs. Like Jack and the Beanstalk up there. Just keeps on going up and up. I really want to know what Javier Weber over here thinks of Pedro Rangel.
That is a great question. Maybe we can put a headset on him.
Oh, as we see a substitution coming in. Oh, it's that delayed double sub. So
Yep.
we're getting to see Jordan Canham for the first time here in this match. And
So Jordan Canham out of the University of Alberta, the new second opposite for the Canadian Senior A team. And we expect Brett Walsh to come in and set now that Arthur Schwartz has missed his serve, and he will.
Canham off to play for Arcus Izmir later, right after this, going to join Nick Hogue and, of course, Glenn Hogue over there. So really could not be in a better development situation because he's going to be playing behind none other than Gregor Grosjean, which I think is perfect.
I don't think I even knew that. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Grosjean is going to be their number one opposite, but I think that's perfect. I think that's a fantastic development opportunity for Canham as he gets his first point of the tournament. That's not how he would have seen it and drawn it up in his head, but that's how it happens. Nice little two-handed push down. And Jordan Canham actually, before last season, spent a year with the Beach National team, so he can do it all.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He can do it all.
Met Jordan's parents yesterday. Awesome people. Jordan's got some fans watching back at home, so thank you guys for supporting him. Good to see him get on the score sheet.
Mar now goes right at the libero and easily handled.
Okay, Louis.
Fantastic dig there by Justin Louis. Mexico gets it back. Right side here to Baca, and Baca, he was his turn to elevate on that one as he continued to climb up, found the space in the block and put it down. Mexico trails only by 6. Oh, Rob's over here looking up Baca on Volleybox, and
He's playing in Mexico. I'm surprised. I actually really like what I'm seeing so far. What a rip by Canham down the line.
you know what, Rob, we should do? So I would love, because can someone in the chat tell us what the deal is with Mexican? Is it professional volleyball? Is it like a league? Because I see that all of their players oftentimes play in this Mexican league, and I'd love to know more about it.
Me too.
Let's go take a trip to Mexico and check out some
Oh,
matches.
that's my boy. Mexico's backup libero is a guy named Jesus Izaguirre, who I absolutely love, and I think he would be able to answer that question for me. 17-10 Canada here.
Great dig by Mar. Now outside to Lepke. He's going to swing away on that one, and he's gotten into my head where whenever he goes up, I'm like, what is he going to do? So how do blockers have to deal with it and defenders have to deal with it? Because you know that he has so many shots that can come out with. Like that one was just traditional swing high hard against the hands, but you don't know what's going to come out of any of Lepke's offense.
And I wonder how well you guys can hear that at home. We could definitely hear it here sitting in the house in Charleston, that as Lepke was going up to hit that high ball, very good high set by Brett Walsh, by the way. As Eric was going up to hit that ball, you could hear Stephen Marr calling out the number of blockers in Italian. Due. Stephen spent so much time playing in Italy, and he's about to be Eric's teammate over in Monza this year. So getting him inundated in that culture underway a little early by giving him his block calls in Italian. And Eric challenged the double block and got away with it.
Burnaby Joe Schnitzer was playing VNL this summer. He just didn't play a lot.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there in Ottawa. Just didn't get a whole lot of court time. Looks real good right now, and I totally agree with the decision to start him. Excellent pass.
Oh, Schnitzer with the dig there. Oh, no. That was in. That was in. I'm sorry.
Everett disagrees with that ball being called out of bounds, but that is the call. That is too bad.
Oh.
I thought that got a piece of the sideline from Stephen Marr. Love the set from Brett Walsh. But there is no challenge system in place here this week. And another substitution for Mexico, just a straight-up setter sub. Edgar Mendoza, number 8, comes in to replace Pedro Rangel, maybe thinking that this set might be out of hand here on the Mexican side. Good pass by Louis. Nope, never mind. It looked like it was on its line to the setter's head. A little too much cheese on that one, though.
And that's what's so hard about volleyball, right? Is that line between an error and like what is an error and not an error is so fine. So fine. As Hernandez now, Baca back to serve. That has nice movement on it too. As it sends Louis sprawling. Nice roll shot by Lepke, but it's picked up. Nice dig there by
defense.
Mar. Oh, great tempo in transition, but it's stopped by Mexico. Oh, and Lopez is shut down. That's Eric Lepke and Danny Demyanenko.
Look at them being ready for the option ball out of the pipe. This is kind of the future of when the setter takes the first contact. We've seen Irvin Ingapet do it. We've seen Yuki Ishikawa do it. Come flying in out of position 6 and have the chance to either take a swing or set that ball. Demyanenko and Lepke were all over the Lopez swing. I like that preparedness.
Oh, Canham. I really want to. I know we know that Canham has the ability to just go on a nice run. I want to see him do that, and they're actually keeping Canham and Walsh in.
I like that.
I like that as well from Semenvuo. We just saw him be
lead.
A little tight maybe with the roster in VNL, and maybe that's he even alluded to himself when we interviewed him after the loss to Germany that maybe he should have made some changes. So love seeing that he's changing it up, and we're giving different looks to the squad as Demyanenko. Bit of a thumb up paintbrush on that, but it still was able to cut back and score the point there for Canada.
Still pretty good defense from Mexico across the board. Another dig from Bravo earlier in that rally, but couldn't really get a swing out of it. 20-13,
Yeah.
Canada in a very good spot. Let's play the game again, Everett. What zone, what type of serve for Lepke? I'm going float zone 1.
I was going to say that too. Now I'm float zone 5. Float zone middle of the net.
Float zone middle of the net. I like that too because he tossed that ball with spin.
Yeah.
And so he could have spin served that ball if he had wanted to. That's part of the mystery of the serve is you truly don't know until he makes contact with it.
Lepke with the pass there, about a 2. And Mar just goes straight over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah.
One thing that I hope you guys notice, when you're watching the replay of this match, go back and watch that play again. Danny Demyanenko had no chance to get set. He just jumped with his hands behind his head and his back to the net to provide a screen, which
That's
I don't
awesome.
know if I've ever seen before. He just jumped with his hands behind his head, knowing he wasn't going to get set, just to screen the other team. That is so silly.
Eric Shoji they over here signing some autographs as Demyanenko serves and
Everett is not
there we go. Overruled by the head ref, and there goes Azair. There goes Azair, the Mexican coach, and he is not happy. He's known as a yeller. He is not happy right now, and he says no.
Uh-oh, getting a little spicy for the first time this tournament without the challenge system. Good work by the up official, just making her call and then getting along with the match.
As the year goes, that one's in.
Ball never lies, I guess.
Yeah, that's when you point to the sky. As Mendoza back to serve for Mexico.
Frankie Milantoni as well, number 48 in for Mexico in the front court here.
A lot of movement there.
A lot of movement. Pretty good chance in transition. Here's Milantoni's first swing. Good coverage.
Great block defense right now from Canada as Canham gets it on the C ball, and that slowed down. Now Mexico in transition outside, kept alive by Louis. C ball again to Canham, cuts it back, and that scores. Mendoza a little handcuffed there.
Yeah, I thought that ball was diggable, but
yeah.
The block defense of both teams getting a little better, especially on Mexico's side in that rally there. First time we've really seen them at all slow down Canada's attackers with block touches.
And I've always found that the Mexican block system is all around slowdowns. Right? They don't have the physical size to be able to get the big blocks, especially when you're playing against the majority of like Cuba, any of the VNL teams, right? But they're really good at having late hands and coming in and slowing things down as Milantoni here's to serve for Mexico. Number 48, you don't see that number often in volleyball.
And that will bring up set point for Canada on the service error. Stephen Marr with the honors. I think for the second set in a row. I think he served spin to win in set number 1. Think he can pull off an ace here? Rob Aspero thinks so, our in-arena MC. Ooh, the middle of the net. That is now 18 service errors for Canada in 2 sets. Obviously isn't affecting them negatively in terms of the result, but that's a lot of service errors.
You know what? I'd rather them get it out in this game and then.
Whoa!
That was that Golden Bear to Golden Bear connection there. Unfortunately, it landed out of bounds. Otherwise, that would have been a highlight.
Not out by much. I didn't.
No.
I didn't know that shot even existed with that block setup. That could have been insane. But 1 set point saved by Mexico. Tape Trickler.
Good pickup there by Walsh. Now outside, Lepke. Hey.
Great play.
The first one was just a little touch recycle through the block, and it popped right up, and he threw it down. Absolutely love that. Canada takes set number 2, 25-18. And they go up 2-0.
Exact same score as the first. Canada looking awfully good, in my opinion at least. They'll change sides, see if they try and get a couple more guys some action here in set number 3. But I like this lineup choice from Samelvelo. I like the willingness to stick with it. Schnitzer has looked good. Lepke has looked very good. Brett Walsh and Jordan Canham there the latter half of the set have looked good. I think Justin Louis has looked good at libero. All good stuff so far for Canada. They lead 2-0. And Mexico, we've seen them kind of be a revolving door lineup-wise. Seen a lot of guys get in action. Seen both setters. Seen, I think, all 4 outside hitters, at least 3 middles. It's And this, we kind of knew this about Mexico's approach to this tournament coming in. We knew they weren't going to bring like their World Championship squad from last year, for example. This is an experienced tournament for them, which I'm a little bit disappointed in because Mexico can hang with teams like Canada when they've got all their guys in the mix. And when these 2 teams play again at the Olympic qualifiers later this year, we expect those Mexican players to be back in the mix. But definitely a different situation here at the NORCECA Championship. Everything playing out very much as expected so far.
Very much so.
The 3 VNL teams, Canada, Cuba, and the United States, through a day and a half of action, clearly look like the 3 contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. And as to be expected, I don't want to say that everyone else is playing for 4th because sport can happen. Anything can happen.
Play the games on court, not on paper.
Absolutely. But that's definitely what it looks like. But we will bring up the Dominican coach's comments from the press conference at the beginning of the tournament that I don't think that there's 3 tiers of teams. I truly believe there's 2 tiers of teams. With Suriname, despite going 0-6 in sets so far, looking very good and very serviceable. So even let's talk about Suriname for a second. I was talking to their manager. They only practice 2 to 3 times a week.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is crazy compared to these are professional players who practice sometimes twice a day.
That is remarkable.
Yeah. So we'll see what comes out with the roster here. It looks like it's going to be her back in along with Schwartz. And yeah, look, going back to the starting lineup has Team Canada, but got to see Walsh and Canham there for a little bit. The pair of Golden Bears from different eras, but pair of Golden Bears nonetheless.
Mexico changing things up a little bit with their starting lineup. Brandon Lopez back in to start at middle, and it's Josue Lopez and Jorge Hernandez who started outside hitters this time. Still Rangel and Baca across from one another.
.30 and the club is jumping. We're about to be jumping in here, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. Eric Lepke is about to be jumping. I wonder if singing along to a song can get us demonetized on YouTube.
No.
I know
it's got to have like multiple aspects, I think, and I think it has to be like more than 30 seconds. So the reason we talk all the time is to not get demonetized.
That's very important. So set number 3 ready to go. Canada serving in black on the near side. Eric Lepke. I'm going with spin to zone 5.
Nope.
Float to zone 6. Okay.
And the pipe. Wow. Oh, wow, Lopez. There was A tiny, tiny gap there. There was not much to look at for Josu Lopez, and he found it.
I think that's the first legitimate BIC run we've seen from Mexico all match.
I agree.
So it's hard to blame Canada for leaving a bit of a gap in the block that time.
Nicely handled by Mar. And they're going to go right to the pipe by Lepke, and it's kept alive, but not enough. And that's only the second time, I think, that they've stopped the pipe.
First time, definitely the first time it's been blocked. First block of the match total for Mexico. Finally, they adjust to that very strong part of the Canadian offense to this point. Victor Parra will get credit for that block there. Good read.
Graham Vigrass, apparently Suriname has always been in NORCECA. I've only learned this as of recently myself. They've been to a few Pan Am Cups over the years, and they qualified for this tournament by winning the Caribbean competition championship. No, not championship, competition.
Just like Caribbean Cup, it might
Yeah.
be called. I'll have to look into that a little further. Yeah, we'll talk more about Suriname. They take on Puerto Rico tomorrow.
Great
Nice
set.
Nice push by her.
And now Rangel's going to go to the right side to Baca, who's stopped and slowed down. Rangel gives it back to Baca, and this time it's right into the arms of Stephen Marr. And Stephen Marr is the closest thing we have to a moose here in the gym, and you're not going to get through him.
Big lumbering Canadian moose down here south of the border. And that is the highest compliment, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Mar is
Have
a
you ever seen a moose? They're majestic creatures.
They sure are.
It's Demyanenko to serve here.
Demyanenko has some moose-like qualities to him. Nice scoop. That's
Well,
the
that
second
was-
day in a row that Danny's played some good defense back there.
Love it. Kept alive, though, by Mexico off that swing by Mar. Oh, no. What a tough one there for Team Canada as that ball just barely squeaks through for Mexico. Was that Baca? No.
I think
That was
was
Hernandez. That was the other Hernandez.
What number is that? Yeah,
Two.
Jorge Hernandez somehow found some space underneath the block there.
But it's these types of plays that makes Mexico so tough to play against, because you make a good play, you think you finish it.
Nobody up for Schwartz. What a set by Luke Kerr.
As Hernandez just kind of walks away and hangs his head because he knows he was bamboozled. He jumped with the set, and there was no one home for the biggest player in the tournament to swing away.
That is a mistake. Let's put it that way.
Very big mistake.
Really good pass.
Oh, nice swing there by Hernandez. Louis was there, just couldn't quite handle it. And I have to say, I'm really happy for Justin Louis right now.
Me too.
Last year we saw him start as the VNL libero, and it was a big jump, especially after a COVID year and then coming from the NCAA to VNL. It was a big jump. And then even last year with the B team,
Whoa. Stephen Marr.
that was a massive swing. But even last year with the B team, Lewis opted to go with Jordan Pereira over Justin Louis. And I know there was some hesitation there and stuff, so I love seeing that he's come back and battled through, and he's looking great, looking confident, and has been playing great so far this tournament.
Confidence is a very big deal in volleyball, ladies and gentlemen. A man who lacks none of it, Stephen Marr from the service line, forces an overpass.
Oh,
And look at that.
Luke Kerr, baby, Luke Kerr.
Love it when setters get a chance to take some swings.
And that, once again, it's Eric Lepke. Fun fact, Eric Lepke was actually a setter in club.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
This man could do it everything. And we saw his setting prowess on display on that one, setting up the setter on two, as Marr shovels that one into the net.
Shoveled.
Just like a driveway at 6 a.m. You guys get a lot of snow in Chicago?
Is that a serious question?
I don't know. I've never been to Chicago in the winter.
That's why you haven't been, is because of all the snow we get. 18 service errors for Canada, only 4 aces. That ratio still not good enough, but it hasn't hurt them yet in terms of the match.
Oh, yeah. There we
Good
go.
call.
I thought so.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
So Luke Kerr is a back row setter there, but even though he went up there with one hand, he got that ball while it was still fully on his side.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexican blocker reached over and touched the ball while the ball was fully on Canada's side. Can't do that. Got to wait till it gets at least above the plane of the net. We got a substitution in here. Pearson Ashenko in for Demyanenko in the middle for Canada.
Okay. First time we're getting to see the Cowboy out of Banff,
We saw
Mr. Pierce
a little
Ashenko.
bit of Pierce yesterday,
Okay.
but now more extended action, hopefully. Love Pierce's game. Nice touch. Not good enough, though.
No, just outside. Piersashenko coming from maybe one of the most picturesque places on the planet.
Banff, Alberta.
Banff,
Oh my
Alberta.
goodness.
You've definitely seen it on TikTok or Instagram before. It is absolutely gorgeous. Highly suggest you go. It's one of the cornerstones of Canada's tourism industry as Eric Lepke gets dug. Now in transition.
Good touch.
Oh, Lepke just dumps that one over. And now it's going to the right side to Baca. Good dig there by Schwartz. A great rally we have on both sides. And Lepke with the wipe. And oh, that looks like it's in on the line. Mar was right there, but unable to pull it up. That was a fantastic rally on both sides.
And good blocking from Mexico. Their block coming alive for the first time in this match.
And it's truly, as the longer a rally gets, the more opportunities Mexico has. What a pickup there by Justin Louis. And now Lepke kept alive, and they're just going to go straight back to Lepke.
Nice shot. What a cover by Justin Louis. That was awesome.
Keeping that ball alive, keeping that ball in play as Mexico really starting to push back here in this third set. They lead by 1.
Rotation 1 receive for Mexico on the far side.
Good pass, and it's going to go right side to Lopez. And Louis would look like he tried to make a move on that, but in the way was Tuomo Samervuo, the head coach. I'm not entirely sure he could have caught it, but still.
There's a really good video on Eric Shoji's TikTok of him and Samelvuo doing a passing competition this year in Poland. They were playing together.
And Coach won.
He did.
He did.
Coach Samelvuo successfully passed a ball into that small net target before Eric Shoji did. And Eric Shoji, according to John Speraw, is the best serve receiver in the world. So
okay, high praise right there. As Lepke must be wearing a size of shorts too small because his are significantly less baggy on him than anyone else's on the team.
That serve not particularly close. So now, maybe for the first time in the match, because Mexico's been able to generate a break point or two, a little bit of blocking physicality, now Canada's service errors seem like they're hurting them slightly.
Absolutely.
There you go, Piersashenko. Welcome to the match, my friend.
Shenko will be heading back to Lundberg this year.
No, I don't think he's going to Benfica.
Oh, no, you're right. You know, Sporting.
Yeah, he's going to
Sporting.
Benfica in Portugal. It's the Champions League team.
Benfica. Not Benfica, Sporting.
I think it is Benfica.
Let's look this up.
Tight pass, and somehow kept alive. Mexico did it again.
Oh, wow.
My goodness, what a block.
What a play by Mexico.
That is Mexican volleyball summed up right there. An absolute miracle dig, an absolute miracle to keep that ball alive. And then a straight-up solo commit block by Victor Parra. What a play.
Parra went up spread like an albatross.
That was sick.
He was either getting smoked in the face or getting goal zoned or
field goal
zoned.
Mar a little early to that ball. Great chance for Mexico in transition. Starting to heat up here, but a good touch from Schnitzer. Good dig again.
Good dig there by Mexico. Oh! But shutting the door, Arthur Schwartz and Jordan Schnitzer.
Wow.
Hernandez, we saw earlier in the game, get a nice tool off the block in pretty much the same scenario, but that time Canada's block learned and really shut it down. 6 blocks for Canada so far on the night, 4 for Mexico.
I think all 4 of those are in this set as well on the Mexican side.
Could be right. And
Ace
there we
serve.
go. A serve, and even Azea, the head coach of Mexico, points that one in, and we are all even at 10.
They're helping out Canada's ace-to-error ratio just a bit. Now 5 aces to 20 service errors.
That's still not great.
Yeah, it's not. 2.5 sets. Tight pass. Yes!
Once again to the pipe. And
Beautiful.
that time it just works absolutely perfectly. I would love to see the percentage of kills for Canada that were in the back row. They have 35 kills so far in this match. I'm guessing at least 15 of them are from the back row.
Just the prettiest play in volleyball, especially when the block separates and leaves a wide open channel like that.
Oh, another. Ooh. It looked pretty
Option.
before.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. And I love I love that they're swinging on the two.
Me too.
Because too often we're seeing everyone try to get cute and go straight to the jump and the dish it. But if you don't establish the two ball first, that doesn't work.
Exactly. Yep, I love the choice to swing at that option ball first. And now Canada pushing back here. What's this run? Is this like a 3-0, 4-0-ish run?
4-0 run. It was 10-8 Mexico, now it's 12.
Time
12-10
out
Canada.
Mexico there first. Coach Chamelvo very intently discussing something with his team over there.
To me, it can't be missing serve related. Because it has to, if he's talking about something so intently, it has to be tactical or process oriented.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's not like, here, look at this clipboard about how you can stop missing so many serves.
Yeah,
you know?
serving is an execution thing. Then there's not really anything to discuss about it unless he wants to tactically change guys' choices. But so many of these coaches, especially at the elite levels, are so much more focused on process than they are on result.
Yeah, they know the process. If you start with the process, the result will come.
If you trust him.
As Schwartz continues now with 5 serves in a row. We talked about his serving consistency a little bit earlier in the match and how it's something that's going to be crucial for Canada because that's a world-class serve right there.
Yep.
Right, that will put any serve receiver in the world under a little bit of stress.
For sure.
Even the man wearing arm sleeves just a few people over to our left over there, who is aptly known as the best serve receiver in the world. So if he
Friend of the channel, Eric Shoji.
If he can find a way to serve that ball consistently, even at 80%, that's going to score a lot for Canada. As the nice little windmill there by Stephen Marr goes down the line.
Something that we saw at VNL, and even Stephen Marr said this, is that there weren't nearly enough swings from Canada's outside hitters down the line. They hit too much cross court. They were getting slowed down too easily. It's good to see Marr confident in that shot, and that's an ace serve. Wow, I don't really know what Hernandez was doing diving out of the way of that ball. That was pretty comfortably in bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marr redeems himself a little bit. He hasn't had the greatest serving day. He's definitely helped out with those 20 service errors so far from Canada. Maybe there's been a one or two that may have been questionable. Just maybe. But gets the ace on that one. And
power rankings of who's most likely to get red carded. Jorge Azer, number 1. Everett DeLorme, number 2.
You're not wrong.
Here is Stephen Marr again. Substitution for Mexico, by the way. Sanai, number 18, back in an outside hitter. Going to have to try and pass this ball, and he does.
Great dig by Marr.
Switch blocking. Her over there blocking on the left that time. Decent looking chance for Schwartz in transition, but he hits it out of bounds.
Yeah, he was looking for hands.
What do you think of that? What do you think of putting her to block on the left in that rotation?
Yeah, I like it. Rangel's in the back row, right? So I like her blocking Baca on the C ball a lot more than him blocking on the right side against Lopez.
I don't.
No?
I think you just keep it. I don't think you need to overthink the Mexican offense. I mean, Mexico right now is 19 for 50 with 12 errors.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily working towards stopping the Mexican offense.
Just like practicing it for other matchups, I guess.
This is the majority of our matchups. You're going to have a much,
huge, like huge outside hitters. I mean, not necessarily. You got some pretty good opposites to play against in this tournament.
Oh, Rangel. Pedro Rangel. I love it.
That was gorgeous.
I love it.
2 hands. Millimeters over the
that
tape.
even got a smile out of Javier Weber over here. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. The legend approves.
Beautiful. Oh, run the give and go. Oh, nice cover.
Good block. Nice active hands there by Baca. And
that's too bad. That free ball was passed too tight, especially with the libero there here on Bravo. Being in front of the 3-meter line, taking that ball with his hands, you got to at least give that, keep the ball off the net far enough to make sure that your setter sets that ball and doesn't commit a back row attack violation. That one just an execution mistake.
Oh no. That one.
What has happened to the Mexican offense the last couple
and
points?
this is where, you're starting to feel everything just kind of crumble a little bit, just fall apart a little bit, which is ultimately what we don't want. Right? I want Mexico to play hard all the way through this one as Her drops that one in. Van Gel's going to give it to the outside, and that's going to be squeaked through. And, yeah, there has to be a touch called on that one for sure, as all the Canadian players give the thumbs up. I didn't see it, but you could hear it.
Yeah, you could hear it. Josue Lopez back to serve. Nice chop working on Lepke.
High off the hands, but
That's
that's
basically a free ball here.
Oh.
And it's hit out of bounds by Baca. Man, that's 2 in a row, either free balls or perfect like block touch situations. Mexico's just straight up made errors. You cannot do that at this level. Good recovery swing there from Baca off the block of Marin out of bounds, using that speed.
Yeah, not looking to do too much there, using the hands nicely. Mexico's still in this one. They're still hanging around. And if something can just pop, might change it up a little bit.
Milantoni in here just as a service sub for Brandon Lopez, the middle. Jorge Azer not shy about using substitutions, that's for sure.
No, I like it. Then again, we're seeing a lot of depth from this Mexican team, even considering the players who aren't here, who are eligible to play for this roster.
Who we're likely to see in the Olympic qualification tournament in a couple weeks.
It doesn't. Why not bring the boys?
That's what I'm curious about.
You know?
Like,
but then again, maybe these are the guys, because Baca and Co are doing a pretty good job.
they have done good jobs at points, but especially with the number of free points that Canada's given from the service line, the Mexican offense has not operated well enough for my liking. Their efficiency is lower than I think it should be. And speaking of service errors.
Yeah, right into the net there by Shanko.
Float serves.
Float serves.
Ah.
And who's that back to serve? It's Baca back there. And now for Mexico. And you're right, I wish the Mexicans had more green in their jersey.
Oh, no.
Oh. And there goes our on-court mics.
That was probably very loud. We apologize,
that was
ladies
probably
and
really loud if you're... And, of course, just as Rob goes to fix that, I have a coughing fit as well. So,
professionals.
Just a comedy of errors over here at Volleyball Sources. Schwartz serves the ace. So, Canada's serving pulled a 180 here in set number 3, Rob. Just a much different story for the third set.
Timeout Mexico, their final, trying to cling on to a little bit of what was a lead, what seems like pretty recently. I think what they led like 10-8, and then Canada went on a run, haven't really looked back.
Yeah, exactly. So Canada in the third set, three errors and three aces.
That's a lot better.
Much better here in the third set, and we saw good serving runs from Schwartz and Marr.
Oh, good news. When our microphone got hit, it wasn't that loud because it was low enough in the mix. So that's good news. Don't do that. All right, 21-16 out of this timeout. This is a nail in the coffin opportunity right here for Arthur Schwartz.
Absolutely. Just serving in tough.
Yep.
That was a good one. Pulling Rangel off the net. Sané doing a good job.
Challenging the correct blocker there. You'd definitely rather try and go at her than 100%. Schnitzer. And the Canadian block in decent position. Sometimes you just get an unlucky bounce off the arms.
Sané really unloaded on that one. Oh, as Marr just flicks it down.
Chucked by Chuck through the block and down. I have no idea, by the way, why Steve Marr's nickname is Chuck. I've never
Honestly,
figured that one out.
I've never. It happened when he was a young player with the national team. And
There we go. Get a little Sam Cooper
Sam
action.
Cooper. Sorry, I was too busy reading the chat. But it happened when he was a young player of the national team. I believe it was like 2016 when they won Group 2 of the World League.
Sam Cooper out of McMaster, in an outside hitter for Canada. That is a rip and a half.
That was
Josue Lopez down the line.
Graham, because he's and you know what?
Thanks, Graham.
Graham and Gord Perrin are the most likely guys who have given him that
That's
nickname.
what I was just about to say.
So
Graham is probably responsible for the name Chuck, if I had to guess.
We're probably not allowed to know the story.
Luis Sanchez, 5'5", into serve for Mexico. Okay, good recycle.
Again,
Repeat
to
to
Schnitzer.
her.
Schnitzer has been having a game. Okay, maybe not. I thought this has to be wrong. Oh,
That's points for this set
third set,
only.
that's why.
Serving sub here, the captain Nick Hogue,
Oh.
who played about 2/3 of the match yesterday, looked good. Was going to come in off the bench as just a really good arm to use as a service substitute. And Everett, you were talking about being able to use him in this role is a huge luxury now that Lepke is back.
Absolutely. Having a guy like Nick Hogue to come off the bench, I mean, he's been to 2 Olympic Games. He's played all over the world.
Then he flails a foot serve way out of bounds.
Nick, you got to give me something
Come
here,
on,
man. I'm just trying to praise you.
Come on, man.
Oh, man. That was a little tough.
That was tough.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, I was about to bring up the evil Hogue days, right, when he first went bald and he was playing for Perugia, and they would bring him in off the bench and as a server. And I know our friend the Monty Johnson on the Discord, who's a big Lube fan, was not a fan of Nick Hogue at the time. As we get things going underway here, Canada 2 points away from taking this match.
Give it to Cooper.
Yeah, give it to Cooper. Let's see him swing.
Good cover.
Yeah, good recycle, and he's going to get it back. And he swings high off the hands, and oh, that's too bad, as a net violation is called on Baka, and that's going to bring us to match point Canada. I want to see Luke Kerr spin a win here so bad.
Let's see it.
Evil Hoagie there from Aussie.
Match point. Pretty easy serve. Whoa. How did that get through the block?
Went right through that small little gap, that little triangle that you sometimes see when the outside blockers move in. But that was a hard and accurate swing there by Sané, as Lopez now has 4 points to crawl his team back into it. Outside to Schwartz, and he makes no mistake. And he puts the nail in this coffin as Canada takes set number 3, 25-20, and the match 3-0 here over Mexico, and they will clinch Pool A, and they are the first team to qualify for the semifinals. Already 2 days out.
Mexico will take on the Dominican Republic tomorrow, but Canada now, having secured Group A, have 2 days off. Their next match will be a semifinal on Saturday.
Yeah.
So well-deserved after 6 outstanding sets of volleyball from the Maple Volleys. They will have a pretty nice break. They can explore Charleston, West Virginia, and take on whoever ends up finishing second in Pool A.
Yep.
Or actually, no, it'll be the winner of a quarterfinal.
Yes, you're right.
Winner of Friday's quarterfinals, but Canada, 2 days off. They will be featured in the semifinals on Saturday. Mexico back to action tomorrow against the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm gonna go grab Eric Lepke.
I love that.
To come join us for a interview.
Looking forward to hearing from Mr. Eric Lepke on the stream here in a moment. Stick around for some interview action, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause from the Canadian team to the fans, the small crowd that is growing. It is growing here in Charleston. Got some Canadian supporters that have made the trip down south of the border. Coming up next, after our interview with Eric Lepke, will be the host, the United States, taking on Puerto Rico at 7:30 p.m. local time. And Canada can celebrate because they are the champions of Group A. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Everett is down there by the Canadian sideline grabbing Eric Lepke right about now. 5 matches into the NORCECA Championship Tournament, 5 3-0s. As we predicted, it's definitely as we talked about, Everett and I, on the pregame show today that we did live here courtside. Well, not courtside, we were actually on the court earlier. We predicted that the teams that play the VNL, we would say the favorites for this tournament, the United States, Cuba, and Canada, would continue their relative dominance today, and that has absolutely been the case so far. As now the United States are already taking the court. A little over an hour before their scheduled match start time.
You're coming in for a chat here. That's what's happening. All right.
Sometimes you guys are the ones doing this.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that very much.
Of course.
And we are back now. Oh,
there
we are.
is.
Now we're back here with number 80 for Jerry Rice. That's what you told me. Mr. Eric Lepke. And Eric, you just told me that yesterday was your first match back since February. So
Yeah.
how has that been?
Good. It's been a lot of training. I was pretty nervous yesterday.
There you go.
There we go. All right. I was pretty nervous yesterday. Just been a while and get the game day nerves, game day jumps. But yeah, it felt really good to be back with the guys, and I'm liking the feel we have right now. I'm excited for the weekend.
It's feeling good. It seems like there's a nice vibe on the team. I mean, it's a little bit tough given some of the competition you guys have had. You haven't really been that tested. But
Yeah.
It seems like other than serving, which was a little off today, it seems like all areas of the game they're executing well, especially the offense. Like there was a lot of back row run today. Was that part of the game plan? Was that part of the goal?
Yeah, we've been really focusing on that. Like the pipe is so effective for guys
general.
volleyball. Yeah, just in general. So we've been really working on that, and yeah, our serve. We were. It's easy to get trapped of like, okay, just make your serve, and then they can kind of get some momentum if you're putting in too easy of a serve. And I think we got a little trapped there and a little in our head, but yeah. Just really excited for the weekend.
It's funny that you bring up the serve because we were actually playing a game on the broadcast here about what serve are you going to pull out, because you pulled out a few. You had the one where you toss it to 1 and then turn your body and float serve to 5.
That was sick.
You had different. Yeah, you had a few different looks on the serve. How are you deciding what different serves to incorporate?
Yeah, I think it depends how we're doing as a team. I'm a guy I think who can float between like going after it and also having some managing serves. So I think Thomas wanted me to just make sure I was putting it in there at the end because we were struggling. And then either if trying to serve out pipe or just get it on. Our target was number 6 there, just to take him out of back row. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that something that you guys were like obviously you're aware of during the match? Was that what you were getting on the feedback on the sidelines, like as the match going on, that serving needed to be better?
Yes, yeah. That was basically all Thomas talked about in the whole game. So
I mean, it was the only thing going wrong as we look at the stats here for the match. 42 kills, only 8 errors, 6 blocks, and then the serving in the third set was much better.
Yeah.
Most of those aces and very few of those errors came in the third, but 18 service errors in the first 2 sets.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think 16 of those are the first 2, right?
Yeah, 18 I think actually.
It was quite a few, and then the third set got a lot better. 6 blocks compared to Mexico's 4. All of theirs came in the third set.
Right.
But I mean the offense, dude, like 42 for 83 compared to 26 for 58, and they had 13 errors. Like that is a very, very big difference on offense. I had a question about block defense.
Okay.
Where is the point where it changes for you guys from focusing on your own side to adapting to the opponent's strengths in terms of your block defense alignment? Like, how maybe is it during a match? Is it during preparation? Like, do you start a match saying, okay, we're gonna leave line here, take line here, leave angle here, like have your middle blockers shift their weight towards this guy, whatever it is, and then at one point, if at all, does it change based on what the opponent is doing?
Yeah, I think there was an example of that in this game. So the opposite from our scout is super external, and he likes banging balls down the line, but he only really had one of those in the first set there, and then
the one that he bounced against pretty much no one.
Yeah, and then he just kept going cross. So, and then second set we're like, okay, let's adapt. So I think it takes a handful, depending on who the guy is. I mean, eventually a lot of guys just have both really well, but there we adapted, I think, in the second set, and then got some better touches on defense.
And now we'll be the first to congratulate you on winning Group A.
Thank you.
Because it is a 3-team group. You already had the day off built in tomorrow. Now you've earned an additional day off on Friday. And you're straight into the semifinals on Saturday. How important is that, especially because this tournament, we're packing a lot of games into just 6 days. How big of an advantage do you think it is to now have 2 days off? You're going to be the only team that has that.
Yeah. No, I think it's huge. I think it's a chance for us to get another nice weight session in, and just get 2 days of rest. Really, that's pretty rare for these kind of tournaments. The travel was a bit rough for us. I don't know if you guys heard about that. So
we talked to Luke about it on the broadcast yesterday. Give the people a short version of how you guys got here.
Well, basically, our travel day was supposed to be like 12 hours to begin with. We were going Ottawa, Washington, Chicago, Charleston.
No way.
It just was the worst.
No way.
Yeah, it was really bad. Then right away, boom, flights delayed out of Ottawa. So we only had a 50-minute layover in Washington. Missed that by an hour.
Oof.
So we got there, and then we ended up just bussing.
Through the mountains.
Through the mountains, because apparently the mountains is 7 minutes faster on Google Maps than a really nice highway. And our bus driver took the mountains, and there was 4 or 5 guys were getting car sick. It was really funny. For me, I wasn't car sick, but the guys who were car sick wasn't so funny.
That is an all-time travel story.
I heard the bus driver fell asleep potentially at one point too.
Yeah. He was a little sketchy.
Wow. And then of all the things this team has had to go through to win Group A, you get one of that's an all-time terrible travel story. That's all-time.
Real quick here, Eric, as we wrap it up, I'm sure you want to go eat and stuff, but what's the vibe been with the guys? So you get back from VNL, and obviously
they get back from VNL.
They get back from VNL. You joined the team, and obviously VNL was a bit of a slog. We just barely missed out or barely avoided relegation. And now you have to get ready for not only this tournament but the Olympic qualifiers. What's the vibe now around the team coming into this tournament? How's it been? How's the feeling been in the gym? Because from externally, just from watching you guys play, it seems like it's pretty good right now.
Yeah. I think I only heard what it was like before, but coming in, I think right away I noticed the guys are just focused. They're just ready to work hard every day, and we know we got a really tough road ahead of us. So there's really no time to waste, and guys have just been coming in, working hard day in and day out. And I'm excited for us to be really pushed this weekend. I think this is a perfect tournament to have before the qualifier. So I think guys are just really coming together, really pushing each other. Thomas is really good at facilitating that. He's a very motivating coach. So
Does he get in there with you guys? We've seen, Shoji's posted him and Thomas having passing battles. Does he sometimes get into drills and show you how it's done?
He works out with us quite a bit. He's always doing band stuff before and making himself do push-ups if he messes up something. He's very
that's awesome.
Just kind of wants to suffer, it seems like.
It seems like he just wants to sub himself in there.
Kind of wants to suffer. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Everett you brought up the Olympic qualifiers coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
You guys, I'm sure, are aware that you will play Mexico in that tournament.
Yep.
Does that factor in at all when you're preparing to play them in a tournament like this, or not really, because it could be a different team? We just don't really know.
Yeah, I think we're just really trying to stay present and focus on the task at hand. That's been a big focus for us for this tournament. Even just not thinking about like, oh, if we win, we get 2 days break. That's pretty nice. Like, we're just really trying to stay present, focus on one game at a time. Yeah. So, yeah, it's sweet that we got to see him here. I think that'll benefit us in the future.
Sure.
But I think we're only thinking about Saturday now.
Okay, this is actually the last question.
Okay,
Did you pick the smaller shorts on purpose?
guys, I've had the same size since like
So your thighs have just gotten
my
jacked.
thighs have just grown. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I know. I was talking to Steve Maher about that. We're like, maybe we should get a size bigger for next year. 'cause
No. Keep it.
You guys vibing with
Keep
it?
it.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Keep it.
All right.
Show more thigh.
Maybe I'll have to go no knee pads. Really show it off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Could you play no knee pads?
Yeah, I do sometimes, but I'm just trying to keep the knees warm right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Respect.
All
And
right.
this floor, I don't like going no knee pads on this floor.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, the no knee pads on the sport court,
Yeah,
it hurts sometimes.
that
It
could be trouble.
looks fantastic, though.
yeah.
Looks
It's a really cool color setup. I like it.
Awesome. Well, dude, appreciate to have you back in
Man,
general.
it's so good to see you guys.
It's nice,
Thank you,
nice
buddy.
to have
Yeah,
you here, and
yeah.
go rest up, and we'll
Perfect.
see you on
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Take care,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, guys.
Don't forget your bottles down there of that no-name European elixir that they all have. They put in the water bottles and shake up. Smaller shorts, please.
Yep.
Jose
we
Maria.
We
Okay.
agree. We agree.
Smaller shorts.
We
There was
agree.
a time when volleyball had that because I remember one time in high school, and because I
Oh,
played,
where's this going?
I played like high school basketball as well, and I was telling them like, oh, I play volleyball, and the first question is like, why are you guys' shorts so short? And I was like, what? Like,
Why are
and-
your shorts so long?
Yeah.
And
And
now,
I mean,
sure
this-
enough, basketball shorts are correct length now.
yes, they are correct length now.
Correct.
So, but short shorts are in,
They're awesome.
right? There was,
If you can rock them, why wouldn't you?
yeah, absolutely.
Look at Matt Anderson's calves. Like, you think this man doesn't look good in short shorts? Like,
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
get serious.
Let's just put them all in. I'll put all the guys in speedos.
Good camera switch there, Michael.
All right, guys. Well, Preston Ashenko in the chat. I'm wondering if that's probably Pearson Ashenko's father. But that's it. That was match number 5 here from the NORCECA Men's Volleyball Continental Championship from Charleston, West Virginia. We have match number 6, last match of day number 2 coming up. USA taking on Puerto Rico in about just over an hour.
Will the dong days of NORCECA continue?
I think the dong days of NORCECA will continue.
I think that they will as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in just about an hour. We'll see you then for United States versus Puerto Rico. Thanks for watching.
Good.